Welcome back to Not Another Moto Pod, hosted by Sam Fury. This week on episode 23, we will cover week 2 of the 2025 Pro Motocross season from Hangtown. Another fun week of racing with some familiar winners and some bounce back rides from riders who had a rough go at week 1. As always, let's start with the 250 class. Another week, another Deegan 1-1. Looking at the motos, Deegan was just the best guy all day. Again, this is kind of what we expected. I said this a lot last week. Deegan is going to be the class of the field. Moto 1, Deegan started 6th and made some moves pretty quickly. Got to the lead pack. There was a three-way battle with Casey Cochran and Chance Hymas, who had gotten great starts and been up there up front early. Eventually made the pass into the lead and just ran away. Kind of the same thing we saw from Deegan last week, just a bit more urgency this week. Moto 2, more of the same. He quickly got in a third off the start, a bit better start than we had seen from him in the first 3 motos of the year. He put in a quick charge. Battles with Lance Kobush, of all people, who was leading laps and honestly really looking good. They had a little exchange, just a fun little exchange there. And then Deegan got the lead and just ran away again. Just unbelievable, 4 for 4 on the year. He has truly been the best guy. It's often we say the best guy is the best guy, but it's tough for that to get backed up. The way that he has done it this season so far has just been unbelievable. So good for Deegan there. Second place on the week, second week in a row, Joe Shimoda, 2-2. Moto 1, Joe got off to an 11th place start, continued to move forward through the field and eventually got in a third, and then got by Casey Cochran for second. He tried to put in a charge to Deegan, but at that point Deegan had a bit of a gap already. He did disappear from the rest of the pack. Moto 2 second as well. He got a better Moto 2 start. Slowly started making passes to move forward. Wasn't moving forward quite as quickly as he was in Moto 1. Obviously, in Moto 1, he had started much worse, so he had more passes to make, so maybe had a bit more urgency there. Chased down Levi, and then he kind of got some urgency and got back into second. That's his 4th second of the year. 2-2, 2-2, so great for Joe. Kind of much more feisty maybe than we expected. Riding great. Coming into the motocross season after not riding so great at the end of Supercross there. So really good riding by Joe Shimoda lately. Third place here, maybe a surprise and a bounce back from week 1. Levi Kitchen goes 3-3. Moto 1, Levi was 7th off the start and made some good passes, kind of took advantage of mistakes from some other riders. He did look fast and made his way into third. This has long been my issue with Levi Kitchen. I don't believe he makes passes quick enough. He kind of sits behind, and that's what leads to him not making passes at all. So really good for him to kind of get the urgency up this week after a rough start last week at Pala. Moto 2, third place again. He was moving forward, making passes. He did get Joe Shimoda at one point for 4th, and then he got by Kobush and Casey Cochran into second. Joe Shimoda did eventually follow up and get him back for second. Kitchen kind of dropped back almost to the pack there for a while. There was a 4-rider pack, I believe, for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Kitchen did hold all the guys off and kind of just out-muscled them there at the end. So a great ride for him in 3rd. 4th place overall, Juju Bomer went 8-4 on the day. Moto 1, he was really a non-factor. Didn't have a great start and just kind of hung out in 8th place. Moto 2, he finished 4th place. He was 8th off the start, but he did look much better, than in Moto 1. Made a solid move by Casey Cochran to get into 4th and put some pressure on Levi for quite a while, as I said. He did eventually fall back to 6th behind Michael Mosman and Garrett Marchbanks, but Mosman went down, and he looks like he passed Garrett Marchbanks on the final lap, according to the timing and scoring. I didn't see that change until they crossed the line, and I'm not sure they got it on the show, so I'm not sure what happened there, but it does look like he passed into 4th place quite late in that moto. 5th place, speaking of Garrett Marchbanks, he went 7-5 on the day. Honestly, he had a rough start in Moto 1, but he moved forward into 7th. Didn't see much of him on the TV. Moto 2, he slowly made moves forward. Nothing really flashy, but it was a good weekend for G. He got passed by Mosman in that 3-way battle with Juju that I've talked about, but he did eventually get the spot back after Mosman went down. And again, he did eventually he had gotten by Juju, and Juju did get him back. Again, didn't really see what happened there, but unfortunate there. Truthfully, could have went 7-4 on the day, maybe salvaged a few more points. Though one position isn't going to kill him. He's 35 points back on Hayden Deegan for the championship here. After 2 races, I'm not sure one position would really have changed much, truthfully. 6th place on the day, a good bounce back for Jordan Smith, going 11-6 in the 2 motos. Bad start in Moto 1, made his way into 11th. Moto 2, just a good bounce back, made some passes and moved forward. Not too much, didn't get too much TV time. 7th place, Jordan Smith's teammate Mikel Harrop, 10-9 on the day. Much better finish than last week's 15th overall. Obviously, the 10-9 moto scores, maybe a little bit of luck involved in the 7th place overall. Not much TV time from him either, as far as I could tell. There was a lot going on at the front of the pack. Harrop was kind of the back of the pack and made his way to 10th in Moto 1. Moto 2, he had a good start. He was riding in 4th for quite a while and did eventually go back to 9th. Let's see. 8th place overall, Ty Masterpool went 4:16 on the day. Kind of similar to last week where we saw him up front in Moto 1 and fall back in Moto 2. Possibly burn himself out. Moto 1, Ty made some good moves. We know he was sick all week. That's what we heard on the broadcast. Battled strong and got into 3rd at one point, and then was passed by Kitchen late in the moto to finish 4th. As I kind of referred to, he has looked fast in both first motos this year. Obviously, last week he was running up front early, had the lead actually at one point, and did go back to, I believe, 8th or 7th. And obviously here, going back to 4th, not too bad. Moto 2 started way back. He was just invisible. Again, it seemed like maybe he's kind of spending a lot of energy in these first motos and just not having much on the table for Moto 2. But regardless, 8th place overall. Maybe not where Ty wants to be, but showing some flashes, in both weekends so far. 9th place, Dylan Schwartz, 9:13 on the day. Truthfully, just... Dylan's been invisible, but he has been a very strong invisible. That's a really good finish for Dylan Schwartz. He's not a factory rider. To get a top 10 in this field is really good for him. Kind of seeing flashes of what we saw from him in the past when he was on Suzuki, and we would see him, in that top 7 range. Dylan Schwartz is making a good comeback for himself. Speaking of good comebacks, 10th place, Michael Mosman. He went 5:17 on the day. Moto 1, he started around 10th and was moving through the pack pretty methodically. Really good for a 5th place ride. Moto 2, he was feisty again. We saw a lot of this in Supercross. He had these races where he was just really on it, and then just a couple where he was off. Today being a day where he was on. He had another good start, made his way into 5th. Unfortunately crashed. Trying to push the limit, and he made a move on Juju, I believe, for 4th place, and was trying to catch Levi for a podium spot, and did unfortunately tip over late in that moto. I believe there was only a couple minutes left, or maybe only a couple laps, which did unfortunately push him back to 17th. But he's riding surprisingly good. I'm really excited to see this from Mosman. Let's see, 11th place, Casey Cochran. Casey Cochran had a great start in Moto 1, battled with Chance and Deegs, and then got picked off by some of the faster guys, eventually faded back to 2nd. But again, he is riding good. He went 12-12 on the day, I should say that. Another great start in Moto 2, was riding well in the top 5, and did eventually fade. He was in 10th on the last lap, so I'm not sure if something happened there. It appears that way. 12th place, Max Volan. Another good finish for Max. I believe he was 13th or 14th last weekend, but he's been in this range. 14:11 on the day for Volan. 13th, Drew Adams, went 19:7 on the day. In Moto 2, he was up front for a while. Never was able to kind of make a push into that top 5, but did finish 7th. It's really good for him on the day. 14th place, Parker Ross, 16:10. That's an awesome ride, that 10th place there in Moto 2. I read a stat online that he was the first rider in however many years, quite a while, to score in the top 10 after making it to the main events from the consolation race, so making it in from the LCQ, and to get a 10th place in Moto 2. Unbelievable there for Parker Ross. Really great riding. 15th place, Seth Hamaker. He went 6:40 on the day. Unfortunately, he hadn't done much in the season, but kind of finished where he started, unfortunately. He started around that 5-6 range, similar to last week. Just kind of hasn't had too much fight yet. We do know he went down early in Moto 2 and did DNF there. 16th place, Austin Faulkner, 15-14 on the day. We look to see Faulkner get better. I think he can be within this top 10 soon, I hope. I just hope to see him continue to battle. 17th place, Tom Biao. Really unfortunate to go 48 on the day. He had a really good start in Moto 1. He was around 4th place. Did go down and tipped over into the back of Rider D, and I believe his elbow got caught up in Rider D's wheel, which actually caused Rider D to go down. So unfortunate situation all around. And he did pull off and get checked out by the medics in Moto 2. Rode pretty good. He had a terrible, as I said, Moto 1, ride his way from the back. He had a terrible start in Moto 2 and found his way to 8th. Obviously, Vial needs to be, well within the top 5 because of the rider that he is. But unfortunate, but good for him to finish 8th there at least. 18th place, Rider D. He went 17-18 on the day. He did show some flashes in Moto 1. He was up front early and, again, went down. No fault of his own. I believe Vial made a mistake and kind of fell forward into his bike off a rut. It was just a really weird fall that Rider D unfortunately got tagged up in. Didn't see much of Rider D in Moto 2. He must have had a rough start. I'm not sure if he went down, but 18th place. Obviously not where he wants to be. The 17th, again, aided with the crash there. 19th place, Chance Hymas. 13 DNS. Really rough ride from Hymas. Again, he was out front early. He got the whole shot, similar to last week. Made a mistake, kind of all on his own. Went off the track. Rebounded from there and went after Casey Cochran. Was unable to make the pass, and then they had like a 3-way battle with Deegan. Deegan eventually got by the guys, and Hymas just kind of faded one by one in the 13th. Heard on the day that he did have food poisoning, so he did not start the second moto. That explains that DNS there in Moto 2. 20th place, Alexander Fedorstov, 39-15 on the day. Must have had a crash or a mechanical in Moto 1. 21st, Avery Long, 2019 on the day. Solid finishes there for Avery. 22nd, Nate Thrasher, going 18-23. We saw Thrasher down early in one of the motos. I believe it was Moto 2 when he went down with Seth Hamaker. I could be mistaken. I'm not really sure what happened in Moto 1 there, but Nate Thrasher bouncing back. He did have a trip to the hospital last week after the crash that he suffered over at Pala. So good to see him bounce back, but just not quite the overall scores that we want to see from Nate Thrasher, nor does he want to see from himself, I'm sure. 23, we got an odd one here. Jack Chambers, DNS 20. Chambers was an alternate and got in after, I believe, J Mart was unable to start. So J Mart and Hymas actually were unable to start Moto 2. So Jack Chambers got in as an alternate and finished 20th place in Moto 2. So really great ride there. Can imagine he was fresher than some of the other riders after not racing Moto 2. 24th and the last point scorer of the weekend in the 250 class, Lux Turner. I believe he was in this position last weekend as well. I could be mistaken, but a 21-21 on the day for Lux Turner. Good to grit out some points there for him. The 0 Points Club, as dubbed last week, unfortunately, one of the big hitters that scored 0 points again. Jeremy Martin follows up a 2020 week with a DNF DNS. Really unfortunate. He was riding well in 12th. I think he was moving forward in Moto 1 and did have a crash and was unable to finish that race, nor was able to start Moto 2 kind of as a precaution. The point standings after 2 races already. Hayden Deegan has 100 points, obviously. Joe Shimoda is 12 back. From there, it's a big jump. Juju Beaumer is in 3rd place. He is 33 points behind the leader. And Garrett Marchbanks is in 435 points behind the leader. Everyone after that is well outside of the range of any kind of plausibility of winning this championship. So this thing is Hayden Deegan's to win. Hope that Joe Shimoda can, continue to hang on, and kind of give Hayden some pressure. So looking forward to that. All right, jumping over to the 450 class, and stop me if you've heard this one before, or maybe 17 times before. Jet Lawrence is your overall winner. 3-1 on the day. Moto 1 Jet was kind of 6 off the start, which for him is a bad start, especially lately, the way that we know he likes to ride. He got held up by Jake Hoop for a while. trying to make the pass there and never really got the toe on Eli Tomac and was never really able to run the speed of Eli and AP up front. At some point, you could kind of tell that he was settling for third. He dropped back quite a ways, I think almost 15 seconds. He did almost get Aaron Plessinger at the finish line, but he came from way behind. AP, once he got passed by Eli, just kind of, let it go. I don't think he realized Jet was as close as he was. But 3-1 on the day for Jet Lawrence. Moto 2 did what he does, got his whole shot and just ran away. No pressure really from anybody. Just did his thing, looked much better, much more comfortable in Moto 2. So great ride for Jet Lawrence. That is now 17 of 18 overalls in the 450 class. Second place on the day, Aaron Plessinger, 2-3. Moto 1, AP got a great start, and he passed Jay Coop for the lead pretty quickly on lap 1. He rode great for 30-plus minutes, really looked like he was going to hold on for the win, held off a couple charges from Eli. And then, unfortunately, there at the end, I think with 2 laps or so left, Eli made the pass on AP. And as I said earlier, AP kind of, at that point, had blown himself up, dropped back quite a ways. So the 10-second win by Eli there, not really indicative of what actually happened in Moto 1. AP rode great. So just an unfortunate way to finish that, especially for AP, who we know has had heartbreak on the final laps of Motos and then Supercrosses several times before. Moto 2, bounced back for a third place. He rode well all weekend. He got past Hunter Lawrence in the third at some point and just kind of settled in. Jet and Jay Coop had already had quite the gap on him. So solid ride there for AP in both motos. Speaking of Jay Coop, third place on the day is Justin Cooper. He went 4-2. Moto 1, he got the whole shot and looked very fast, but AP got by him. He then got passed by Eli and then eventually Jet. So he dropped back to fourth, but he held on to that position. Looked pretty good, looked comfortable dropping back to fourth. Not a big deal when the guys passing you are, Aaron Plessinger, Jet Lawrence, and Eli Tomac. Second in Moto 2, he got by Webb in the second pretty early. He just put in a great ride. He kind of was a bit of a ways behind Jet, was never really able to grab the toe or keep Jet honest, but he kind of rode by himself in second place, similar to what we saw in Moto 1 last week. Fourth place on the day, really unfortunate fourth place. Eli Tomac went 1-9 on the afternoon. Eli's first moto win since 2022. In Moto 1, he got by Jay Coop, and he just hunted AP for the entire race. He put in a couple charges, but AP did hold him off. And then late with, like I said, about 2 laps to go, he did make the pass on AP and kind of set sail. He put in some laps, and at that point, you could tell AP was a bit dejected and kind of just let him have it at that point. Moto 2, unfortunately, 9th place. He got cut off on the start by Valentin Guillot. It was just kind of a racing incident, but he just didn't get the jump. Was way back in like 26 or so off the start, I believe they said on the broadcast. He was way behind, but he was making a lot of moves, moving his way forward. He did tip over once he got into the top 10, unfortunately, and did have to settle for 9th place. So not the overall result we expected from Eli on the day, and especially not the points haul that we would have liked to see on Eli to keep this thing, this championship kind of honest and not let Jet run away from it. But it is what it is there. 5th place on the afternoon, Hunter Lawrence. He went 5-4 on the day. That 5th place is actually the first ever non-top 4 finish that he's had in a 450 moto, which is unbelievable to think about. I think he started around 5th, and he didn't really go anywhere in Moto 1. He just kind of finished where he started. The top 4 had kind of run off. Moto 2, 4th place. He did have a better start. I believe he was 2nd or 3rd off the start, but he dropped back to 4th. Again, nothing special on the day from Hunter, but kind of an odd day to see him hanging in 5th. We know that he obviously is much faster than this, but considering 5th place is a bad day for Hunter Lawrence, that's probably a good thing, to be honest. 6th place on the day, Cooper Webb. He went 7-7. I think I said it last week. Cooper Webb finished 7th in Moto 2. I think he was running 7th in Moto 1 when his bike blew up. This is kind of probably where he belongs, in that 7th place spot. Obviously, some movement in the overalls bumps him up to 6th place, but he just rode well in both motos to pull in for 7th. 7th place overall in the day was RJ Hampshire. RJ went 6-8. He looked better this week, similar to the Moto 1 last week. The 6th place in Moto 1, he pressured Hunter for a while to try to get 5th, just didn't have it, so we finished 6th there. the eighth in Moto 2. He looked good again, but he tipped over early and lost some positions. I wonder if he could have found his way into the top 5 had he not tipped over early in that Moto. Eighth on the day, Jason Anderson. Good bounce back ride from Ando here. 2 motos inside the top 10. He went 9-6 on the day. Moto 1, he was around 7th early and just kind of dropped back a bit late. Moto 2, he was racing in 5th for a while, and then Prado got him, I believe, pretty late in that moto, so he dropped back to 6th there. Speaking of Prado, he got 9th overall, 12.5 on the day. Prado lost a lot of positions late in Moto 1. I would imagine due to the weather. He's probably not used to racing in these conditions. Obviously, we know it was 100-plus degrees. They did shorten the second motos to 25 minutes plus 2 laps, so cutting 5 minutes off of those motos. But Prado did finish 5th in Moto 2, and he did race his way forward, so that's a good sign from Jorge Prado. 10th place on the day, Malcolm Stewart. He went 8-10. Didn't see much from Malcolm on TV, but just a bounce-back ride. We know he went down last week, and I don't know if he DNF'd or finished well back in the 30s, I believe, in Moto 2. So 8-10 on the day is a really good ride for Malcolm Stewart. 11th place, Joey Savacci. I believe he was 10th, 11th last week. He did go 10-11 on the day in the 2 motos, so good riding by Joey Savacci. Again, I believe I said this last week, but we look to see Joey find his way into that top 10 soon. And I think he can kind of run with the guys if he gets a start. I think he could be a 7 through 9 guy, truthfully, in this class. 12th place, Cody Schock. Another good bounce back ride. We had a lot of guys with some good bounce back rides, as I referenced here in the intro. 11-12 on the day for Cody Schock. I truthfully believe Cody Schock can be a top 10 guy under the right circumstances in this class. He has showed speed in the 450 class before. Obviously had some success in the 250s and Supercross this year. He had the mechanical DNF last week, which kind of screwed up his overall a bit there. But 11-12 on the day, really good riding from Cody Schock. 13th, Benoit Pacharel, a few positions back from where he was last week. He went 13-14 overall. Didn't see much of Benoit on the day, but that's 2 solid rides within the top 15 from him. 14th place, Colt Nichols. He went 19-13 on the day. 15th place, Lorenzo Locurcio went 17-15 on the day. 16th, Derek Kelly went 16-16. Funny enough, honestly, looking through these results, I believe there were 10 guys or 9 guys who filled in the top 10 throughout both motos. And so the rest of these guys just kind of filed in behind. 17th place, Freddie Noren went 18-17. 18th place, a rough ride for Valentin Guillaume. He went 15-20 on the day. He was right behind Pacharel. I believe he finished 11th last week. If not 11th, it was 12th. Him and Benoit were a mix of 10, 11, 12 last week. I don't remember in which order, but I know Benoit did beat him by a position, but kind of unfortunate to see Guillaume drop back to 18th. Not sure what happened on the day there. Wonder again with some of these Euro guys if that was kind of weather related, again with the 100-plus degree heat. 19th place, Grant Harlan. He went 14 DNF. I didn't see the DNF there. We got him listed as 1440, but see Harlan last week. I believe he was within the top 10 overall, was riding really well. So that 14th is probably more indicative of where he's going to be on the season. 20th, Mitchell Harrison. He went 25-18. That 25 is rough, but 18 in the second moto to get his first point-scoring moto of the year, I believe. I believe he was a part of our 0 points club last week after a rough day at Paula. 21st, Dante Oliveira, 28-19 on the day. Dante Oliveira is a factory KTM off-road guy. We've seen him jump into the 450 motocross class before and have some success. So to score some points in Moto 2 there is a good ride for Dante. 22nd, Harry Koulas, 2021. I don't believe he scored points last week either, so a good bounce back there. 23rd on the day, here's Mason Simmons again, 21-26. That's two overall results where he has scored points. Again, a guy that we don't know much about. Truthfully, haven't looked into him much, but that's 2 weeks in a row that he's scored points. So really good riding there from Mason Simmons. This week's 0 points club, as far as, kind of factory guys or names that we would know, Benny Bloss jumped in for the beta guys this week and unfortunately went 22 DNF. At 22 to not get a point there is rough. Not a great ride from Benny Bloss, of course. The points as they go for the 450 class, Jet Lawrence has 95 points. Aaron Plessinger is in second place, 16 points back. Eli Tomac, unfortunately, third place. He is 17 points back. Justin Cooper is 19 points back, and Hunter Lawrence is 22 points back. I believe after that, you drop to well over a moto's worth of points in the overall points already after 2 overalls. Next week, we go to Lakewood, Colorado, Thunder Valley. Looking for an interesting race there. We'll see if Jay Coop, we know Jay Coop's been good there. Hunter Lawrence has been good there. Jet, obviously, good everywhere. Eli Tomac, obviously good everywhere, but a home race for him. Look to see, for any shakeups in the top 4, top 5 there. That is all we've got for this week. As always, if you want to follow us on X, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify at Not Another Moto Pod. Thanks for listening.